Hello again, my beautiful people, Jamaican youth in the building yet again. And in this one, we're talking about the Jamaica Reggae Boyz and the Copa America. Yes, my beautiful people. Man, we into it now. We into Copa America. We see Jamaica play one game already. Jamaica lost 1-0 to Mexico. And we hear kind of scratching way about some of the things they will say in that game. And so in this video I want to talk about a little bit about that game, and then I'm looking forward to Ecuador. So before we get into it, just want to ask you to do the usual: hit the like button, as it helps to send the video out to more eyes. And if you haven't subscribed as yet, please hit that subscribe button, as we're trying to grow the channel around here, and your subscription helps to grow the channel. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Jamaica in the Copa America. And we're off to a losing start. And, kind of want to put it in a context because, there's several takeaways from it. I never really jumped into talking any pre-Copa America stuff. And I never really talked about it right after Copa America got the first game either, because I was busy. I was kind of out of town and doing a lot. But I am back now, and I just want to give my 2 cents on what's going on in the Copa America, as some people put it. So we see the game, we see Jamaica versus Mexico, and that game ended in a 1-0 defeat for Jamaica. Mexico scored a screamer of a goal, really, and walked away with a 1-0 victory over Jamaica, which it seemed that they were pleased to get that 1-0 victory, because they were kind of worried. It seemed that it would have even ended in a draw. And the Mexican fans right now, they have, Mexico under pressure, really, to produce the goods, especially in international tournament, especially they're leading up towards the World Cup coming up, and they're not playing in the qualifiers. So let's talk a little bit about Jamaica, though. Like, everybody's talking about the one of the changes that Coach Hallgrimson made in the game. He took out Deshaun Bernard. And it's not just Deshaun Bernard. Him take out, him take out 2 players, including Bernard, and bringing in Damian Lowe and Michael Lecter. And everybody was kind of looking and saying, like, why we need that change? What make we need that change? And lo and behold, as the change was made, a goal scored away. And, people have drawn the conclusion that that change kind of discombobulated the flow of the team. And boom, before you know it, we're under 1-0. And, I have to look upon it and I have to say, boy, I kind of agree, because I never did really see the need for make a change, especially not in defense at that point. If I was going to make a change, it would be an offensive change. It would have bring on Cephas earlier, and if you're going to bring on Kyle Dixon, bring them on with time where them can make an impact on the game. If you're going to bring them on with 10 minutes left, I mean, it's like, it's a Hail Mary throw, right? This is like, you kind of can see to, I might lose that game. I very well might lose that game, but maybe just throwing something for see what can go on. That doesn't really help, because for me, you never really need to make the defensive change. And I think an offensive spark was needed in the game, but you should have made that offensive change 30 minutes earlier. If you're going to make that change, bring in Cephas and bring in Kyle Dixon earlier in the game. Give them at least enough chance or enough time to make an impact on the game. I think by and large, though, the team defended well. And it didn't look like a panicky game, even though Mexico made a lot of attacks on us. Goalkeeper Jamali was brilliant in goal. Even though the goal that scored him, you can't blame him for that. That's not his fault. That was a screamer. That was a good shot on goal. It was a good goal. And if we're gonna lose, might as well we lose to an outstanding goal than something stupid. He kept well this game, Jamali Wade. So I want to say kudos to him for that. In defense, we look good. I don't see the reason why Deshaun Bernard needed to come out. I mean, pin up Bernard, Latimer there, I say, was fine. I mean, if I was going to make a defensive change, it would really only be him, but I wouldn't have taken out Bernard. He was playing well. Gregory and Lembikisa played well as usual. Midfield is still something to be solved. I think maybe Demarai Gray he could have taken off earlier in the game and bring on Cephas, because Demarai Gray never had his best game, but he's coming off injury, so I'm willing to give him a little time to get to that point where he can be, be menacing in attack for us again. But he still needs to play. The midfield seemed like it had a mixture of Casey Palmer and Bobby Reed even doing some midfield work there. But by and large we weren't even able to keep the ball very much. I think the first half was almost completely dominated by Mexico. In the second half, there were portions of the game where we had possession of the ball that we seemed like we could relax on the ball. We saw Mikel Antonio score a offside goal, which showed that we have some teeth. And I know a lot of people are calling for Mikel Antonio, but listen, don't get it twisted. Mikel Antonio is doing an outstanding job for us out there. You know what I mean? No, I hear a lot of people saying that we cannot have Mikel Antonio and Shamar Nicholson out there together. No, I can agree with that a little bit. I think you either have to go Shamar Nicholson, Kaim Dixon, or Antonio, Kaim Dixon. For have both Nicholson and Antonio out there, they do the same type of things. It's the type of players that you kick the ball long to, you try to get them to control it and hold up the ball again, make the rest of the field come up and then lay off a pass and then go into position and look back to get the ball for score a goal. They both do the same thing. Now, the thing though is that Kaim Dixon is not on the level of a Shamar Nicholson or Mikel Antonio as yet. So maybe the coach is thinking, I need to have my best players on the field at the same time, as opposed to thinking tactically and say we can't have the same type of strikers on the field at the same time. I'm just assuming that is what he's thinking, because that's the only explanation that I can come up with as to why he would have Dixon or have Nicholson and Antonio on the field at the same time. So that is a thing that the coach that is an issue that the coach has to think about. In terms of solving the midfield problem, the only thing I can say right now, give Karoy Anderson more opportunities. You have to put him on the field. I mean, I think a lot of fans are of the opinion that he has not been given enough time on the field. You have to give him some more chances, because he seems to be the only one that can possibly, help out this midfield issue that we have. So, I mean, I'm not really going to lament too much on the loss, because, it's in the past right now, and we had ample time to prepare, and, Mexico was never going to be easy. We never really outpossessed them in any way at all. We can hardly break their press. We have to fix that. I think Jamaica, for some reason, we are not able to put passes together on our own, and I don't know when that's going to end. We're not able to put enough passes together, and dominate possession, like we see in other teams. We just don't see that, and I just really hope we could, we can work on that, and we could be better at that, because I'm tired of seeing teams like Mexico and US and to a lesser extent even Canada just totally dominate possession against us, and we can't even keep the ball. The only teams we can keep the ball against is the lower ranked teams like the Dominican Republic, the Damreps and the Dominica. And even when we play those teams, sometimes they look like they're going to score against us and outpossess us. So the possession of the ball is a problem for me. You know, we haven't grown up. It's like every time we play Mexico, it's like we are so frantic. It's like, oh my God, they're just coming at us, coming at us, coming at us. And we don't know what to do. So we want to fix that. Anyway, looking ahead to what Ecuador, we're going to play Ecuador tomorrow. I'm expecting, you know, Jamaica to put up even a better fight. Ecuador is not going to be an easy team to beat. They lost to Venezuela, but that one could argue that the reason why they lost is because they were down to 10 men. So it's not going to be easy. But Ecuador is a lower ranked team than Mexico. So if, you know, if we can put some you know, some better tactics together against them, you know, I don't know that anything needs to change for the starting team. I don't know if this coach is going to go with the same starting team. I would only say bring on people like Karai Anderson and you know, and Ronaldo Cephas earlier. And also, if you're going to make changes, don't make changes in defense if it's not necessary. I mean, if the defense is playing well, allow them to see out the game. There was no need for a defensive change against Mexico, in my opinion. None whatsoever. But I would say the team that started was decent. It was a decent team to start. I would start the same team. I thought that they played well. I mean, it's going to have to be a mentality game going in. I don't know if the coach will make some more changes. I don't think there's many changes needed. I know a lot of people think maybe Kaim Dixon should come in. I wouldn't start Kaim Dixon. I would bring him in earlier in the game, though. I would definitely give him a chance in the game earlier, but I wouldn't necessarily start him. The starting team looks good to me. So I hope that we can we can get a positive result from Ecuador. It's not going to be easy because Ecuador is a very strong team. They played in the last World Cup, the likes of Moises Caicedo and all of the other players that they have, some of them playing in Argentine league and some leagues in Europe. They're going to be a formidable team. And, you know, it's similar to Mexico, but they're not technically, you know, as strong as Mexico. Some might argue that they're a little bit better than Mexico, though. But, like, we'll see. We have to get a positive result from this. I just don't want to see any changes that is unnecessary. We can stick to the type of defensive shape that we have had, that we have been playing, but we have to be more clinical up front. That's what we have to do. All right, I'm going to leave it here, everyone. And on your way out, please hit the like button. If you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button as well. And until next time, take care of yourself. Walk good. I'm out.